it's going around the news today, Chris, real quick. We won't stay on this long because we've talked enough about just a really fucking bad movie. Tron Ares is just a bad movie. It's a bad movie. I love Tron too. I love the idea of Tron. I love the looks of. I love the light cycles. I love Tron Legacy. They're 7 out of 10 films, so. Right, it's the idea of them that people like. Now the rumor is going around that that it's done. Like they're just not going to try anymore. Now, could they in 15, 20 years? Sure. But it's done. It disappointed because it wasn't a good movie. And let me know if you agree with this or not, Chris. Even if it was good, I don't think it would have done that well.
I agree. It's a more obscure franchise, kind of like Krull. I'd love to see a sequel to Krull, but that's a very obscure, and I always thought Tron was kind of like, it's a niche franchise.
Absolutely.
I mean, as much as Tron Legacy has actually aged well, I still can't get beyond the uncanny valley of Jeff Bridges, digital.
No, that's something they could go back at, when they're remastering the 4K. You can fix that easily.
Yeah, they could,
but they won't because they're not going to put any more money into this now because they decided to go the really fucking lazy, lame route of making an inversion of Legacy with diverse woman and removing the Flynn family legacy, which is what this fucking franchise was about. That's what hooked you in. Soundtrack, whatever, don't care. It's not as good as Daft Punk's, not even close. And I listen to them both. I've actually been listening to a lot of the Daft Punk soundtrack lately. It's very good. But yeah, this article says it may be the end of Jared Leto leading franchises. I will agree with that 100%. I don't think he ever could. But there's also all the screen crushes and whatever on fucking Twitter are. It's also been said that they're ending the franchise. That it is done. And its numbers they didn't come in today, but they're not good. They are just not good. It's going to lose a lot of money. You know what else is going to lose money, Chris?
What?
One battle after another. The greatest film of the 21st century, Chris, according to many corporate critics in Hollywood, except for Alan Ng, Christian Toto, and you. So according to Variety, one battle after another projected to lose $100 million theatrically as Smashing Machine and others also struggle due to oversized budgets. I would also argue being bad movies.
Well, Smashing Machine is not a bad movie, but no one wants to see The Rock do a serious film. I'm sorry. They spent $50 million on Smashing Machine. And I think it made too much. I think it made $6 million in its debut.
Yeah, that should have been like a $10 million movie, 5. I was interested in seeing it. And I'll probably see it on streaming, right?
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you make too many bad movies, you have overall brand damage. We've talked about it fucking a lot over the last few years. And one woke after another is not a good movie. You could take the Antifa shit out completely, and it's not a good movie. Every Monday morning, Virginia-based cinema owner Mark O'Meara pores over grosses to see how the newest releases are playing in his area. Last weekend didn't offer much to celebrate as some well-reviewed Oscar contenders collapsed at the box office. A24's The Smashing Machine, proving that The Rock is not a movie star. He's just not. He never was. He never was. A sports biopic starring Dwayne Johnson as MMA fighter Mark Kerr died pretty quickly. O'Meara reports, meanwhile, nobody did really well with Roofman, a dramedy featuring Channing Tatum. That one looks good, too. I wanted to see that.
It's entertaining. Kirsten Dunst is great.
It was slow as hell, O'Meara says, and I thought the movies were good. There was also a lot of hype with them. That just didn't happen. The DC metro area wasn't the only place where those films failed to connect. Roofman debuted at a paltry $8 million, while Smashing Machine endured a brutal 7% decline. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get down. And Kiss of the Spider-Woman came out. There's a Kiss of the Spider-Woman remake?
It's a remake with Jennifer Lopez. It's terrible, by the way.
Even Paul Thomas Anderson's one battle after another, led by Leonardo DiCaprio, struggled to break out despite being hailed as a generational masterpiece. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Stop. Just stop with this bullshit. All right. You might like Paul Thomas Anderson. It is nowhere near his best movie. It's towards the bottom of his. The dude's completely overrated, by the way.
By the way, bombing at the box office is actually good for Oscars because the Academy loves a story that, like, well, this is art. It didn't do well. In fact, if you performed well at the theater, that actually doesn't help you when it comes to winning awards. They tend to nominate movies that bombed at the box office because to draw attention to a worthwhile film. That's the way. So bombing at the box office actually helps that movie, and it's probably going to get all the nominations.
Oh, it's going to win them all.
I don't know about winning.
I think it sweeps. And Chris, that's precisely why Oscar ratings are in free fall. No normal people give a fuck about them anymore. It's because you don't put any movies anybody wants to watch. I don't care about your fucking little personal circle jerks, and that's all this is. It's critics love this movie because of the politics. Period. End of story. That's it. If this didn't have Antifa and ICE or ICE stand-in, it would have been recognized and forgotten. It will be a generational masterpiece. Get the fuck out of here. Though the global haul of 140 million is impressive for a film that's original, and you know what? It would be if the budget was where it should have been, 30 to 40 million. But the R-rated and nearly 3 hours long, one battle requires roughly $300 million to break even. That's because Warner Brothers spent more than $130 million on the production and $70 million on the promotional efforts. And ticket sales are typically split 50-50 between studios. And I'm glad this is being mentioned more because they have been leaving this shit out forever, but enough of us have been calling them out. Now they're breaking down like how movie math works, right? And just the basics, right? I don't consider myself an expert. You know what I did, Chris? When I got into this job, I just looked it up. I took the time to like look it up. And then I asked people like you and Robert, like, how does this work? You know, and they told me. And ticket sales are typically split 50-50 between studios and theater operators. Meanwhile, DiCaprio typically gets first dollar gross on his movies, meaning he gets a percentage of the box office revenues before the studio recoups any costs. This thing's going to lose a bundle. So let's get to the author of American Psycho and get to what he says. Variety wrote an article on this, but we have the actual podcast interview so you can hear the man in his own words. This is going to be horrible for Hollywood. All right. Last year, cultural shift. I'll try to set this up quickly. Last year, cultural shift happens. Some of us said, Hollywood, I know you're going to want to get super political because the Donald's back in office now, but you can't. You can't afford it now. You need every customer you can. You need to pump the brakes on that, at least for 5 years, and just make some good movies, right? You need to go out there. That needs to be your fucking focus. And what's the first thing they're going to do? A dude almost won Best Actress. A dude got nominated for Best Actress last year. And now they're going to give this movie 14 Academy Awards as a middle finger to half the country. It's not a good idea. So this is Bret Easton Ellis, the writer, the gay writer of American Psycho.
Well, I didn't think we were going to talk about it. I think we did half of a podcast on Licorice Pizza about a month or so after it was released. And yeah, I mean, if there was ever a movie to kind of do a deep dive on in this moment, it would be One Battle After Another. I just didn't really like it. And it had something to do with any kind of ideological shit. I mean, I know there are a lot of people on the right who hate the movie. And I guess that's kind of fair because I think the very liberal entertainment press, I'm not painting them black or anything with that, it's just a fact, have severely overrated it. And it's kind of shocking to see these kind of accolades for, I'm sorry, just a not very good movie because of its political ideology. And it's so obviously what they're responding to, and why it's considered a masterpiece, the greatest film of the decade, the greatest film ever made, because it really aligns with this kind of leftist sensibility. I have a feeling that after this week, whenever it drops off the box office charts, it is going to be seen as a kind of musty relic of the post-Kamala Harris era of, that thing that everyone gathers around and pretends is so fantastic and so great when it really isn't, just to make a point.
That's it.
Exactly. Just to make a point, they will love the movie.
Absolutely. Taylor Sheridan called this out on Joe Rogan when Joe asked, like, why do the critics hate you? And he's all, well, critics aren't critics anymore. They just like stuff that they politically agree with or ideologically agree with. It's not about judging art. And Quentin Tarantino said the same thing too. A variation of that. So, and oh yeah, we've been saying it for years and years and years. And that's why they continue staying in their bubble. And that we got to thank them, Chris, because that's provided people an opportunity like me. When I started seeing the press, like, well, they've always been full of shit. But when I just started really paying attention, going, they're full of shit. I'm going to go to other places. That's when I started going to YouTube to look for other opinions. And it led to this channel. So I guess we got to be grateful. And more people are making channels every day. And that's because they're full of shit, Chris. And it's so obvious at this point. I mean, they might as well just have the Academy Awards and just have every actor walk up and say, fuck Donald Trump.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.